My journey really all started with a decades-long case of diarrhea. I mean, it was food in and liquid out.
Mark. Hey everyone, welcome to the Better Basics podcast. I'm Matt Stone with Dylan Waldhuter. Dylan, we're doing it, man. Episode 1.
Long time
awesome.
coming.
Yeah, I mean, really, it's a long time coming. And here at the Better Basics podcast, it's all about just helping people get better. Just taking those little steps in health and fitness, nutrition, everything that adds up to a better life. We just want to break that down into nice digestible chunks. I mean, anything else that we got to say about it right now?
Yeah, I mean, look, there's a lot of podcasts out there. There's a lot of information to digest. I don't think we want to be another voice in the echo chamber. There's a real specific audience that I think this message is for. And I think it's for the people that maybe the fitness and nutrition message hasn't reached quite yet.
Yeah.
So maybe tell us who's this for? Who's our audience? Who are we trying to reach?
Yeah, I mean, but I think the best way to do that is talk about us a little bit, because the thing about I'm a personal trainer, but I've been in real estate. I was a bartender forever. I mean, we're not your normal, dare I say it, fitness influencers. I mean, we're just guys, and you and I, we've been friends since high school, and we lived together in college. We've always been interested in health and wellness. I remember going to a GNC with you in Madison when we decided we were going to get healthy, and we bought the first multivitamin that the guy at the supplement store sold us, and we pissed neon yellow for a couple of weeks until we ran out of it and didn't have the money to buy more. So
Yeah.
We're not doctors, we're not scientists, we're just guys that like beer and pizza, that like that want to have a good life, and not have to track every single meal. So, I said a little bit about it. So, I mean, what else?
It's for guys like us, guys that love cheeseburgers and like to sit on the couch and watch football. And I think the message we want to portray is that you can have all those things and you can simultaneously be a fit, healthy individual that feels good. And so the messages I think we'll be sharing in this platform are really simple tips and things that you can apply to your life to achieve the goal of feeling better, whatever that ultimately means for you. On this journey that you're talking about, I think we've recognized that there's a lot of misinformation out there. The fad diets, the 30 pounds and 30-day weight loss plans, eat this, don't eat that. Ultimately, man, I think that stuff's just easier to sell, right? A lot of this stuff is relatively basic. And hopefully we'll be able to communicate that to you all in a way that's easy to digest and implement in your own lives. So that's what we're here for.
Well, that's the whole thing.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, right now we're not really here to sell anything, because a lot of this isn't stuff you can sell. This is basic information that we've learned over years of spending money, talking with coaches, buying fitness programs, going to vitamin stores and trying different supplements. This is, hundreds of hours and thousands of dollars of our dumb guy trial and error. And this is, what we've been able to come out of it with, and we just want to share it. So, and I think that's the biggest reason why there isn't, a voice like ours in the space yet, because it's difficult to monetize this. We're not here because it's going to make us rich. We're here because it's an important message. And you know, you and I have talked about this. There are guys in our lives, some of our best friends that we're doing this for, that we
Yeah.
want to be able to help with this kind of stuff, because we know that they're not going to, you know, try these radical fitness transformations, and they're not going to, you know, they're not interested in taking these giant leaps in health and wellness. But that doesn't mean that there's not a little step here and there that they would want to take in the right direction. But they get lost in the weeds because there's too much crap out there.
100%.
So, you know, if you like beer, if you like pizza, if you like chicken wings as much as we do, we think that you're gonna love this podcast, because, you know, we're not here to tell you what you can and can't do. We're just here to tell you what you can add into your life and maybe subtract, to make it better.
Preach. Hallelujah. So from that GNC store in Madison, pissing B vitamins into the toilet, to the basic trainer, you've made a career leap here, and through not only the credentials you've earned around being a personal trainer and working with individuals on fitness, you're complementing that with your decades of the trial and error that you just highlighted. Tell us how you got here. Tell us why you're doing this. Tell us what the basic trainer is and means.
Yeah. So, I mean, this is my fitness program that I just launched, and it's the same, you know, it's just it's exactly what this podcast is. It's just hoping to be a sane voice in that space. You know, I have gotten so tired over these last few years logging onto Instagram and seeing, you know, fitness influencers who are just tossing workout videos into the ether for likes with no real practical application. It's just for vanity. It's just to look cool, but it's not actually applicable or helpful to anybody at all. And, you know, so I have launched this platform with the hopes of kind of cutting through all that. And you know, I'm not the only person. You know, there's plenty of good accounts that are out there doing the same thing. So it's just, you know, hoping to be another positive voice in that space, offering people valuable information that they can actually apply, you know, when they go to the gym, or, you know, when they're not going to the gym, when they're just at home. And it's all about getting back to the basics of you know, what health and wellness and fitness and strength training in specifics actually are, and what they can be for somebody that doesn't necessarily ever want to have a six-pack or never wants to go a week without carbs.
Yeah, it's hard as hell to have a six-pack. It's not fun.
And it's not really all that healthy either.
No, it's usually not. Yeah, you're single percent body fat. You're hungry all the time. Yeah, I mean,
it sucks. It's
that's the picture. But that's the metric and measure that a lot of the fitness space portrays. I think what you're doing is interesting. It has a real opportunity to resonate with the 80% of people that are either overwhelmed with that current message from the fitness influencer, that get on the roller coaster of fitness fads and diets just to end up back where they started in the first place. But equally as importantly is those that have never tried, the people that are intimidated by it, or think it's too difficult or challenging, or doesn't fit into their current lifestyle. It's not only basic in that a lot of what it takes is really pretty fundamental, but also basic in that it's accessible to the 80%, the individuals that aren't trying to achieve the six-pack or take pictures with their shirt off or whatever it is. This is really for, like you said, us today, us 10 years ago. How do we cut through that 10-year journey it took us to get here, to help people achieve that maybe a bit more quickly, a bit more easily?
Well, dude, these are the same conversations that you and I have been having for years. I mean, this is, you know, it's something that is new, that we're finally sharing with the world. But I mean, this is a philosophy that you and I have been refining for years now. So I mean, I'm kind of taking that leap because I'm in, because my business is personal training, and so I'm, a bit more outward facing with all this. But you have been a, living embodiment of it, just from, a trial and error standpoint. You went from a guy with, you know, uh, severe gut issues, really a lot of health issues that people are dealing with, and I mean, there's just that they're just dealing with it, feeling shitty on a regular basis. And you realize that that wasn't the life that you were going to live. You took some control. You figured out what the heck you could do about it, and you really, I mean, you've taken those tenets and transformed your life with it. So I mean, this is something that we've been going at it. It's funny, we've been going at it in, from two completely different points, but we've been doing the same exact thing.
Yeah, my journey really all started with a decades long case of diarrhea. I mean, it was food in and liquid out pretty much every time I ate for a long time, and I just kind of learned to live with it and tolerate it, and have to step away and be embarrassed from time to time when I went out to eat with friends and family. I think through the journey of trying to figure out how to combat some of that and take a solid poop, I learned a ton, and I tried things that worked really well. I tried things that didn't work as well. I went through every fitness, supplement, nutrition strategy that one could try to ultimately get to where I am today. And I've resolved a lot of those issues, but along the way I've faced other ones. And really, I think an important message that we'll try to convey throughout all of this is that it's very much more about that journey than some ultimate outcome or goal, right? Little goals along the way will help you achieve wherever it is that you're going. But unless you fall in love with just the idea of the journey of improvement, and it doesn't have to be grand improvements, it doesn't have to be anything more than maybe what makes you feel a little bit better on a day-to-day basis, that by falling in love with that journey, there's a lot that we can achieve. And it really is, to the name of our podcast and to the name of your personal training business, it's pretty basic. And so we're here to communicate that message. We're here to share from our own stories. I'm here to tell you about how, I stopped eating pretty much everything to try to solve that gut issue, to find out that maybe that wasn't ultimately the best strategy. I tried the high intensity interval training stuff to realize some benefits, and also, deal with some struggles that came along with training in that singular modality for a long period of time. So, yeah, it's just experiential learning. We've done it. We've tried it. We've made the mistakes. We've seen some successes. We're here to communicate those to you, to give you an opportunity to learn from them, try them yourself, and hopefully make some small improvements in your life that lead to not only a really important end goal for you, but really a fun journey along the way.
And we're still learning too, which I think
100%.
is going to be one of the coolest parts for people as they follow along with us here. Is, we're not here to tell anybody that we know anything about anything. We're here to tell you what we have found that works for us, or in my case, some of the clients that that I've trained and things that work for them. But we're here to try things out and tell you how they go. We're here to think one thing is correct and then learn days, weeks, months, maybe years later that we were wrong about it, and what we've learned from it since then. So there's going to be very little dogmatic about this, about these conversations. It's going to be very much with an open mind. And I think that is going to be something that is insanely refreshing to a lot of people. But you said something about like little steps to feeling better, because ultimately that's how you climb a mountain, right? One step at a time. But what sometimes the way I started, at least for me, so I was, when I was still bartending, 30 pounds heavier than I'd ever been, just out of shape, not feeling good, uh, but really unhealthy habits. And the thing that started to pull me out of it was not making little steps in the right direction. It was realizing the little steps that I was making in the wrong
Hmm.
direction. You know,
Yeah.
like I remember really this was a major moment for me. I'm driving, driving down to Milwaukee, probably to visit my family or visit you guys, and up where I live, we don't have any fast food chains. So I stopped, get far enough south. There's a Taco Bell. It was always a little reward for getting that far south. Stopped at the Taco Bell.
What are you getting at Taco Bell?
Well, I mean, then it was probably a crunch wrap. Probably, I'll tell you what, a black bean crunch wrap, because I thought that was healthier, which maybe it is.
Maybe it is.
But black bean crunch wrap, bean and cheese burrito.
You're a bean guy.
Oh, I love bean and cheese burrito. And then probably they don't have a chicken burrito anymore, not like they used to.
Mm.
So that would have been it, but now probably like a beefy 5 layer, just like some sort of 3 items, but dense, like a hefty bag when they
Yeah.
hand it to you.
Yeah.
But I'm driving home. I'm driving there, and I got the Taco Bell on one seat, and I'm driving, eating, and I realized I felt something that I never felt before, and it was my stomach like folding over the seatbelt, and it was like uncomfortable, like it was like creating like a rash, like on top of like the bottom of my gut on top of that seatbelt, and I never felt that before, and it was like kind of an eye opener, like, oh boy, like that's new, that's different. How did this happen?
Right.
And then you notice the bag of Taco Bell that's sitting next to you, and then you reach under the seat, and there's probably another bag there that you haven't thrown away yet.
Yeah.
So I realized that I had a problem with eating in the car. It's just like a kind of mindless habit that I developed. So I would do two things. One, it started with I would do my best. I just wouldn't eat. I'd have to, if I got food, you got to take it home, sit down somewhere and eat it, go inside and eat it. No eating while driving. But then two, when I would eat something, like a Taco Bell, I always would make sure to kind of set a mental reminder. Let's check in 10 minutes after I'm done eating that and see how I feel.
Mm.
And I realized pretty much across the board that when I was done, 10 minutes after that meal, I did not feel great.
Yeah.
I was not feeling better than I was before. I may not be as hungry as I was before then, but I didn't feel better.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, so a simple takeaway, right? Can you start to just pay attention to the things that make you feel good and the things that maybe don't? How can you check in with those sorts of things? I don't know if you got a chance to, when Jewel was on Joe Rogan, did you get a chance to listen to that at all?
Yeah, I listened to the whole thing.
She talked about it through the lens of anxiety, but I loved the message in it is that she simply kept a journal of the times when she felt open and the times when she felt closed. And she simply recorded what she was doing when she felt one way or the other. And through that process, she was able to pretty quickly identify, these are the things that are giving me anxiety. And these are the things that are making me feel really, really good. And simply by documenting and being aware, was able to give more of her life to those things that made her felt open than closed. And in turn, was able to deal with a lot of the anxieties and challenges that she'd been dealing with. It's sort of similar to your message, which is just to pay attention.
Yeah. And I mean, it's that simple. So whether, I always think that having a visual, like a copy of something, I'm always like a handwritten notes guy. I still I've got my calendar in my computer, but I got to have, that handwritten one too, I mean, so for for me, and why I think you used it too, James Clear's, the Atomic Habits, tracker journal,
Yeah.
that's awesome if you want to take it that far. But the point is, you don't even have to, you don't even have to like go that far to even writing stuff down. It's just when you do something,
Yeah.
just check in with it. When especially something like eating meals, I think that's so important because we have such a connection to how food makes us feel immediately in the moment when we're eating it. And that's where the hyper palatable, the ultra processed, the extra salty or sweet foods, they have such they give us such a rush, because in that moment you have this insane, just like sense of pleasure
Yeah.
when you're
Food's the
scarfing those
best.
down. It's
Yeah,
the best.
it is.
But if you can start to link the way that you feel 10 minutes after, because what you're eating will directly 100 times out of 100, when you eat something, it will make you feel a certain way 10 minutes later,
Yeah.
better or worse. There's no in between. The stuff you put in your body is going to have a direct impact with how you feel. So if you can just start to make that connection, and it's not even about saying I'm not eating fast food anymore, because that doesn't stick. I still go to Taco Bell,
Yeah.
and I love it.
Me
But
too.
yeah, and that's okay. But it's still having that recognition. When I eat this, how will it make me feel? And that's going to influence my order. It's going to influence the amount of times that I stop there. And it's going to just start to make me act a certain way. And that's all it is starting with that recognition. And then you can take that as far as you want. But once you just start recognizing, it is insane how easy making healthy choices becomes, or at least it's amazing to at least see those opportunities start to pop up.
Yeah.
And then you get to recognize, I'm in control of this. I can decide when I want to make the healthy choice and when I want to go the other way too, and understand that sometimes that's the right choice.
But at that point, at least you're making the decision, right? The hyper palatability of food makes it such that so often we're not even really choosing it. It's there. Our body subconsciously knows we love it and want it. We consume it and we go on with our day without really even being present with the experience of choosing the donut, to eat the donut, and then how do I feel after I did? And I think that it's just about the awareness. We'll get more into the nutrition aspects, things to pay attention to with regard to how you're feeling, maybe after certain meals or foods or whatnot. I think one that stands out for me with regard to awareness in this whole gut journey that I had previously was my early efforts were around removing foods from my diet. And what I learned was that was difficult to do, right? In a normal person's life that has a wife and likes to cook with people and go out to eat. That can be really challenging. It can put a lot of stress in a person's life. One of the simplest things that helped me with my gut issues was just slowing down, not eating my meal in front of the TV, taking 3 deep breaths before I started my meal, and chewing maybe twice as long as I'd chewed before. And so I have a gut problem. I Google it. I'm getting all this information about this diet and this evil food and that evil food. And through all of this experience and learning, I ultimately read somewhere, I don't even recall where, just slow down, take a few deep breaths, chew your food, don't eat in front of the TV. And it was really that more than anything else. There were a number of other things as well, but that really helped me to not have to rush to the toilet as soon as I was done eating. And just having that awareness and bringing that to the table every time I sat down to eat was really transformative.
Yeah, I mean, there is a great percentage of digestion begins in your mouth.
And
So,
chewing.
but
Yeah.
beyond, and this is where you could get into the weeds all day with that, and maybe sometimes we will, but it's not even. It doesn't even have to be that detailed, because I'll tell you what, if you eat your meal with the TV off. If you pay attention to the food you're eating, if you slow down and enjoy it, you're going to just naturally eat less. You're going to feel better about it because you're able to actually process that food instead of just inhaling it, and then there's all that oxygen mixed in there too. Or it's just there's so much that goes into it, and I would just challenge somebody to just try that.
Try it
If
out.
you are a chronic car eater, if you are somebody that is always either on your phone at lunch or dinner in front of the television, just try it just once. One meal, one of your next 3 meals, try it. No phone, no computer, no TV, no car. Sit down at your table and just see what you think.
Yeah.
And it's simple. It's some of those simple things that can really have these profound impacts. So that's what we're here to do, and we're just going to keep figuring it out as we go. So obviously you and I both have a laundry list of people that we'd love to talk to, and hopefully one day we get to. But at the beginning here, it's going to be a lot of conversations. It's just you and I sharing stories about the issues that we've had, the successes that we've had, some of the failures, some fun stories along the way, and hopefully some items that you can take with and actively apply to your life to make it better. So, Dylan, before we get out of here and wrap episode 1, is there anything else that you think we should cover or tell the people about?
Yeah, I mean, just in conclusion, we've been having these conversations for 15 years together, and now we're just going to record them and share them because we do feel like there are people that could benefit from being a part of them. And it's going to be a lot about curiosity, not expertise. We are just curious guys on a journey to feel a little better, that love fitness, that love food. And we're going to have conversations about the things we're curious about. We're going to challenge our own beliefs. We're going to challenge the beliefs of others. We're not going to get super dogmatic. And ultimately, hopefully that brings us all to a place where we can learn and find a way to a better life. So,
and hopefully we piss off somebody
we'll piss some people off, man.
Who's dogmatic about something. I think that would be good for us. A little controversial.
I hope so, man. The fitness and nutrition space is inherently controversial because everybody lives in one camp or the other. It's all black and white. The reality of fitness and nutrition, the reality of life, is that it's incredibly nuanced, and most of the truth and the best of life lives in the gray, somewhere in the middle. And so we're going to explore both ends of the spectrum, and we're going to talk about it, and we're going to land somewhere where we really feel like there is a simple take-home message for the average person to make their life a little bit better. Concluding the podcast, Matt, what are the action items? Let's sit down with our food. Let's chew it a little more. Let's be present with our meal, and let's maybe start to pay attention to how certain things make us feel.
Just generally presence. Start to integrate a little bit more presence into your daily life. How do the choices you make you feel after you've done with them? If you decide to work out, how do you feel an hour after? Mm-hmm. If you choose to sit on the couch and watch TV, how does that make you feel? When you're eating, be present, but let's just start to pay a little bit more attention to the choices we make and how they make us feel, not in the moment, but a little bit down the line, because that ultimately is how we learn whether we are doing things that are beneficial for us or things that might be holding us back.
Yeah, and just to tie a bow on it, I'd encourage everyone to approach that with curiosity and not judgment, right? So, how do I feel? Not is it good or is it bad, but how do I feel, and what does that ultimately mean? It doesn't have to be, so much of fitness and nutrition is good exercise, bad exercise, good food, bad food, good decision, bad decision. That's not the goal here. Really is to simply be aware, be present, to approach more of the way you feel with some curiosity, and we'll give you some tools along the way to help you decipher through some of that.
That's such a good point. 2 steps forward, 1 step back. You're always going to mess up. You're always going to do something that feels like you're shooting yourself in the foot. That's life, and you know what? That's okay. So the sooner that we can get over the yeah, I did something bad, and maybe we have to come up with a different way to phrase that too,
Perhaps.
because decisions shouldn't be good or bad. Now they can make us feel a certain way,
Sure.
but that doesn't make the decision necessarily bad. It's just it's paying attention to how you feel and how you want to feel, and then making the decisions that make you feel the way you want to feel all the time. Because you can, there's no reason that you have to, feel like crap more often than not.
No.
That's one of those things that we're going to teach you, that you can just take control of your life. You can be in charge of it. And sometimes it starts with something as simple as just paying attention.
I really look forward to exploring it more with you. Until next time.
Dude, it's going to be so much fun. All right. Thank you, everybody. We'll see you next time.